Last year, the Phoenix Suns came out of nowhere and got within 2 games of winning an NBA championship, but did they get lucky, or are they legitimately one of the top teams in the NBA? In today's video, we'll talk about the Phoenix Suns, we'll talk about some of the players they have, and why they might just be the favorite to win the NBA title this season. Let's get right into it. If you've not already, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm uploading videos every single week and your support truly does go a long way. But anyways, getting right into things, when you look at this year's Phoenix Suns squad, they have almost all of their core players from last year's NBA Finals team, plus a few new players in the rotation as well. They also, so far this season, at the time that I'm recording this video, have one of the best records in the entire NBA, and at the beginning of the season, they even had an 18-game win streak that was only broken by the #1 team in the NBA right now, the Golden State Warriors. Before last season, the Phoenix Suns had been a pretty bad team in the NBA for several years, and there are a few key things that I think led to their turnaround last season and will continue to lead to their success in the future. Monty Williams being hired as a Phoenix Suns head coach was a huge turning point for their organization. Before they had been building up talent, they had had a lot of talented players. Devin Booker was an up-and-coming star, but it hadn't really translated to wins. When Monty Williams came in, he developed a real identity for this team. He developed a consistent play style, and he got them to play together. I honestly believe that Monty Williams deserves just as much or more credit than anybody else for the Phoenix Suns' success in recent years, but obviously he could not do it alone. CP3 was a huge acquisition for this team. They had the talent, like I mentioned before, but CP3 came in and he was that true veteran leadership presence that they needed, along with also being one of the best players on their team. Another one of the Suns' biggest strengths and keys to success for me is their depth and well-roundedness as a team. They are not top-heavy by any means, so while they do have 2 clear stars in Devin Booker and CP3, their role players and supporting cast is just as important to their success and just as important to them winning games. When you look at the top 3 teams in the NBA right now, the Warriors, the Suns, and the Jazz, I think that all 3 of those teams fit the definition of a complete team, meaning that every guy in their 10-man rotation, or however many guys their rotation has, knows their job and does it at a very high level. I don't understand why more NBA front offices haven't realized that getting a few superstar players and ignoring the rest of your roster doesn't necessarily translate to success, especially long-term sustainable success. When you look at teams like the Nets and like the Clippers and the Lakers and other super teams from past NBA seasons, those teams work great when all of their players are healthy and they're playing well. But as soon as one of those star players goes down, as soon as one of those star players has an off game, it is panic time for those teams because their role players truly are too dependent on their star players, or maybe they don't even know their role at all. That is not the case at all with the Phoenix Suns. When Devin Booker or Chris Paul misses a game or just has an off game, obviously it sucks, but they have the personnel, they have the players, they have the system to fill in for that production, to make up for their missing star, and I think that that comes from having all of the things that we talked about, having a well-balanced team, having depth, having a true identity and a true system and play style that Monty Williams has developed, and I think that this is why the Suns were good last season, and I think that it's why the Suns are going to be very, very good going forward. Obviously, Devin Booker and CP3 are the starters of their team. That's undebatable. We've talked about them a few times throughout this video, but I really want to focus on the depth, on the supporting cast, because I think that it truly is one of the best, if not the best, supporting cast in the entire NBA. We talked about their depth being one of their biggest strengths, and I truly do think that that is true. They have guys like Mikal Bridges, like DeAndre Ayton. Those 2 guys, in my opinion, are 2 of the best role players in the entire NBA. Those are 2 guys who I think if they were on another team, if they were on a worse team, they'd probably be considered star players. They also have Cam Johnson, Cam Payne, Jay Crowder, and new guys that they added this season that weren't even on their championship team last year. JaVale McGee, Landry Shamet, Elfrid Payton. They just signed Bismack Biyombo. This team's depth is ridiculous, and I think that the Suns are even better than they were last season, which is obviously saying something considering that they made it to the NBA Finals and were up 2-0 on the Milwaukee Bucks. before unfortunately they did choke the lead, but that is besides the point. Like I said, I think that this team is even better than they were last year, and I think that they have a huge opportunity to make it back to the NBA Finals. It is going to be a harder path to the finals this year, no doubt, and if the Suns are able to make it to the finals, it is going to be tough as well, because you have teams like the Warriors, like the Nets, like the Bucks, like the Jazz, like the Clippers, some teams that weren't healthy last season that are going to be healthy this season. There are more contenders this year than there have been in past years, in my opinion. So like I said, it's going to be harder for the Suns to make it there, but the Suns have also gotten better. The Suns have also improved their team. They've improved their roster. They've continued to build chemistry. They've continued to develop their younger players. And I think that they have the shooters. They have the chemistry. They have the system to beat anyone in the NBA. And I think that if they can stay healthy, if they can play consistently, there's no reason why they shouldn't be in the conversation among the NBA's top contenders. Let me know what you guys think. Are the Suns going to be able to return to the NBA Finals? Who do you think will be the toughest opponent they'll face? Are they good enough to beat some of these super teams in the NBA if those teams are at full strength? Let me know what you guys think. Remember to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.